to your school fees there. It was nice. And the people that I've met in that year have shaped so much for me. I used to think other people who didn't want to move were crazy. And then I realized that we are the crazy people. There are places in Africa that you wouldn't believe exist. Wherever you go, there you are. So fun and PGDA
do not go together.
I had a friend who were doing it together with, who were having fun at Monash together, but she made it. You think you know, but you don't know. This is awful. Take me home.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ntwaniengomane. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and welcome to today's video. Today I have Rhulani on my couch. Rhulani, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring my invite, and I'm looking forward to having this chat with you. So let's start with, who is Rhulani? Where does Rhulani come from? How did Rhulani grow up?
Very deep. Very right into it.
Straight to the point.
Who is Rhulani? So Rhulani is a girl, from Johannesburg, South Africa. Grew up in my suburb, I always say that,
like where?
So in Alberton, in South Crest. Literally lived in High Walls, in the suburbs of South Crest. Was raised by my mom and my dad. My mom is from Limpopo, she's Pedi, and my dad is Swati from Mpumalanga, but we speak Tsonga. It's weird.
Hence the name.
Rhulani Shabangu. Shabangu is a Swazi surname.
Yeah, but you have a Tsonga name.
But I have a Tsonga name, yes. We speak Tsonga as well.
Oh, okay.
So explaining what language I like, what I, you know, people are like, what are you?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm Swazi, but we speak Changani.
Yeah.
But grew up like middle income family, middle class, I guess. Went to really good private schools growing up, so I was very privileged growing up. Had a very shielded and comfortable upbringing. My parents really worked hard to make sure that I had access to comfort. Good education was a big priority for them. Very quiet childhood. I'm an only child. I grew up an only child. Really? But I also have half siblings who I love as well. But I always say, if you didn't have to fight with anyone over the remote line, you probably aren't. It's like we're siblings, but we didn't have to grow up in the same house together. So I've never had sibling struggles.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Sibling rivalry.
Yeah. I'm spoiled. My mom's child. Nice. She spoils me.
Okay. Did you not feel lonely growing up alone?
Definitely lonely. I would go to my parents. No one ever had the bees and the birds talk with me, so it was always like, you buy children. So as a kid, I'd be like, when are you gonna buy a baby? Where's money? When are you gonna buy a child? My mom wanted other children. It just didn't work out that way. I was definitely lonely as a kid. I would talk to myself a lot. But luckily I had cousins, which I'm very grateful for, who I'm very blessed, we're the same age. So there's two girls, so it's the three of us, and we're all around the same age. We call ourselves the three bandanas.
Oh, nice.
They're gonna hate me that I said that. So it was nice that I had them growing up. What else can I say about Rhulani? I'm a chartered accountant. That's what I did professionally. But I always identify as a drama kid, because in school I would do more dramatic arts. I did want to study drama.
Okay.
And then my mom was like, you're not. You're not doing that.
Typical African parents.
Yeah. You need money. A big part of me also wanted to study investment banking, investment management. But my mom told me that a lady at tax told her that I shouldn't study it. But now I I know people who do investment banking, and I'm like, Mom, that was
an
owl. You took an owl.
But why did this lady tell your mom you shouldn't study?
I think it was in that time when, I don't know if it's still the same, where like chartered accountants were just this revered thing. It's like, your child must be a chartered accountant, you know?
Yeah.
So this lady was like, no, she must do accounting. She must be a CA.
Wow.
You know, but anyway, went down that path. I don't even know. You know what I thought? I thought that when you do accounting in school, you're a chartered accountant.
In like high school?
No. In uni. I thought that like you do the course, maybe you do the honors, but then you're a chartered accountant. Nothing prepared me.
Yeah.
For the 7-year, actually 8-year journey. Nothing prepared me for that. Nothing could have, like, I remember sitting in the camp in school for the first time and then hearing about all the exams and articles and stuff, and I was like, what? No.
And you were already in the process.
I was inside. There's no
going back.
So that was news to me, but anyway, went through it. My mom had to my parents had to fight me all the way through. I was like, I want to quit. I can't do this anymore. But eventually we made it through. What else is there to say? I've spoken about how I've grown up, what I do so I work as an auditor here in London. And that's what I do for work, but I generally would like to describe myself as someone who's very energetic, very curious, I like to learn about how other people live, how other people do life. But I also like to be very present where I am. There's so much to say when you try and describe yourself as a person. It's like you've been alive for 30 years and there's so much to you and you've changed so much. Like, even as I say that about myself, even as I say like I'm very curious and I like to discover things about other people, you know, there'll be like periods of your life where you embody those attributes very much, and then there's periods of your life where you embody different attributes in different ways, or that might manifest itself in a way that you might not immediately pick it up as that. But anyway.
Yeah. What did Rhulani value growing up? Like, what did you embody as this are the things that I value as a person?
Wow, I've never ever thought about that. As in, what did I value as a kid?
Yeah.
I want to say being recognized as good. You know, like being seen to be good.
Yeah.
Whether that is like in school, even though I wasn't very good in school until very much later in high school. It's like in the last 2 years I kind of just was like, okay, we need to get serious now. But like before that, I was like, but validation from like my mom was like a very important thing, or like other people saying you're really good. Wow, good girl, you know. Well done, you know. And I think that the system around education, it's a lot of like, you are rewarded for being good at stuff, you know, recognized for being good at stuff. And if you're not good and you're not getting that recognition, you crave that thing, you know, and you're driven by that thing. So that's what I'd say, in the sense of that's what I assigned value to, or assigned importance to. But now I look back and I've lived more and I've learned more about myself and understand the good things and the not so great things, and have had more life experience. I know that there's more to life, you know, like I'm probably more playful now than I was then. Or maybe I was playful in ways that I didn't quite understand that, but now I understand curiosity, being curious about things, trying to learn different things, trying to expose yourself to as much as possible, as much other perspectives as possible, basically. But I'd say trying to be good.
You said like towards the end of your schooling, that's where you're like, okay, we need to get this education thing right. What made you think that? What drove you to, okay, I need to get this thing right, get to uni, make something of myself.
You know, I had an experience in grade 10 where I got in trouble at school, and I was essentially suspended for a few days. And I remember during my suspension period, or it was after, my dad came to visit me, and we were talking, and he was like, okay, Rhulani. He didn't address how I got suspended, what happened. It wasn't a chat like, hey, when you did this, what happened? I just remember at the end, like it lives rent free in my mind, he said like, don't disappoint me. I don't know, something in my brain switched, you know? And like after that, like things were very different. Also Beyonce was in her Sasha Fierce phase. My mom got me, there was like Blu-ray DVDs at that time. And I was watching her DVDs and I was like, well, you need to get your stuff together, you know? Those are the things that I remember about that time. And so suddenly I think also it probably aligned well with teachers who gave me a chance, you know? And I started to feel confident in the areas where I'm good. Okay. For example, like mathematics and accounting. And then I think that starts to trickle down into other areas, you know? So, and I think there's also that shift when do you choose your subjects?
Grade 10.
So grade 10?
Yeah.
10, 11, 12 or 11 and 12?
10, 11, 12.
Okay. So I think things started clicking for me in maths and accounting. And I think that built my confidence in other areas such that I was like, hey, I can do this. And then it gave me more of a desire, because then you start to see when I apply myself more, I get better results. Yeah. And then, you know, you start to apply that. Exactly. Yeah. So I think I started to learn about my own work ethic in that time. Yeah. I mean, I'll say, you know, there's that experience with my dad. I was watching Beyonce videos, but also essentially you start to realize the payoff of putting in more effort. Yeah. Even if it's not cool. Yeah. You know, in that time where you're so obsessed with being cool or being relevant or whatever as a kid or as a teenager. But you start to see that, hey, if I do this, it works. Yeah, exactly.
Then the more it works, the more you're fueled to like keep
going. Yes. And then you start to get recognition. Like I remember getting top 10 for the first time. I was like, whoa.
New league.
Whoa. And I was like, I'm the underdog. Like y'all didn't expect this. Like I was definitely not. I was not even close to the top 10 like the year before. So getting that, it was like, oh, okay. Then you start to feel like, hey, I'm good. Yeah. Oof. Then recognition starts to become like a little thing that you're chasing the whole time.
Yeah. How was uni for you? How was uni doing accounting? Did you struggle with any of the modules? You said 8 years before. Did it take you 8 years?
Because I repeated postgraduate PGDA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were in adjacent residences. Weren't you in Monleaf?
Yeah, I was in Makliki.
You were in Makliki?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I remember I always do this. And you told me that before. Yeah. So we were in the same res. At Tux. So I started my uni at Tux. Yeah. Being in res shapes your experience. It does. Quite significantly. Yeah. And in a very positive way. I loved res culture. I loved like all the you know saris and ink melodink that we got to do, you know. Exactly. I know they don't call it, they've changed the names and stuff now. I enjoyed that part. I didn't enjoy so much like I wasn't big on like always going out socializing and stuff. I think as accounting kids you kind of get this idea that like if I don't study I'm gonna fail. You know, they drill it into you very early.
Yeah, they're like, you need
look at the person next to you and the other person, one of you won't be here. if one of you won't be here,
one of you won't make it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also live in res, so then it's like you're also in groups like in your res rooms. So you start to see people like trickling off, or you know your peers not making it, and you have to kind of get in order. So I had a great time in res. I had good friends. Like Hatfield was an amazing place to study and also have like a social life and go out and enjoy. I love having a good time. So, but at the same time, I had to work hard, and I did. It was never like, there were subjects where you really enjoyed, like I loved economics when you were in uni, like I loved ecos, and I liked statistics, but accounting was definitely kicking my butt.
Which happens to be one of the majors.
Exactly. And then management finance came in the picture. I don't know what we called it then, but that subject where you do like costing and stuff. I had my times, like I'd be like generally not bad with it.
I didn't enjoy management accounting at all.
It's weird.
I didn't enjoy it. Costing, standard costing.
It's a weird one. It's one of those things. It's like, I think my natural proclivity is things that I don't have to study hard for. So like tax would just, I don't like studying, learning that hard. And I didn't enjoy tax at all. But management accounting was one of those things where it's like, I don't have to study hard for it. You kind of have to grasp concepts. But then there are times where I'd pass it, and there are times where it would
kick your butt.
Exactly.
I didn't enjoy management accounting, and it's one of the reasons why I left consumer markets. Because there's a lot of standard costing in consumer markets.
Really?
There's a lot of inventory and stock takes and stuff. And I just didn't enjoy that. I wanted to do more financial related things. Maybe some accounting, but not management accounting.
Where are you now?
I'm in real estate now.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it's not even consumer markets. It's very closely related to financial services. But not exactly financial products.
Okay.
It's more like investments.
That's fair. I think also that exposure to management, finance, and the accounting bit is probably what made banking appealing to me, because I'm in banking now. You know, like financial instruments. IFRS 9 was the big standard. It's the sexy stuff, you know. It felt very sexy, but like it's. I mean, the work that we do is very similar. It's just what you're auditing is different. But I feel like uni, we couldn't be the kids that were chilling on the grass on campus.
Oh, I wanted to be one of those kids.
You know, the kids at the student center who would like hang out.
I wanted, like, you know, when there were shows at the student center and DJs would come. I wanted to be the kid.
You always hear about it afterwards.
Yeah, you always hear about it afterwards, but no, not when you have FRK 100 to
None of that.
It was really hard. How was navigating failure from honors?
That's a funny story. So, you know, tax, you have to qualify to make the honors at tax. So I didn't qualify. And I was ready to repeat the year. My mom was like, you are not.
You had passed but not qualified.
Yes.
Okay.
You are not. You are going into honors. She made sure, she signed me up there by Monash University. And I got accepted by God's grace. But that year at Monash was the most fun year of my life in uni.
Okay.
And that was my first year of honors. So fun and PGDA
do not go together. No.
Have fun. Like
you have to choose one.
You can't.
Do you want to pass or do you want to have fun?
I arrived on campus at Monash. I was like, wow, life is different here. Like, I enjoyed that year. Like, my mom always, we joke about it now. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then. I'm like, I ate your school fees there. It was nice. Enjoying ourselves, going out. And then by the end of the year, it gets to a point where it's too late to save the year. You know, you're trying to push in October, but the gap between all those tutorials you didn't do, the gap is big.
There's nothing you can do.
And there was no, so when I failed, it was like, wow. It was so funny. I had a friend who were doing it together with, who were having fun at Monash together, but she made it. Guys, I know that all I took at Monash was not easy, but then it like when I failed, I had to, because you know I was on a bursary, and now the next year my bursary wasn't going to pay for repeating. So my mom was like, hey, you need to find a job, do something, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna work for a gallery. find a job in art. I had this interest in art. There was this thing called, First Thursday still happened. I'd gone once or twice and I was like, I'm going to find a role in art. And then I found a job that December and I started working for a gallery / bookstore concept space. And then that year, because I had work and I had to travel to Monash and I couldn't stay on, because my first year at Monash I stayed on campus.
Okay.
The second year I repeated, I had to move back home. I had to manage it with work. And I knew that this was not my second chance and I had to get it right. So the stakes were high and I didn't have as much time. I worked 3 days a week or 4 days a week. 3 days a week. 4 days a week, man, I'm getting confused. But it was, I had to be disciplined. And I appreciated it more and I had to work really hard. And I also learned that taking the scenic route was positive for me. Like, I can speak fondly of how much I enjoyed myself that first year at Monash. Truly, it was a formative year in how I experienced myself and how I see myself. And also, if I didn't fail that year, I wouldn't have had like a very defining experience at like the gallery where I worked and learned so much.
It wouldn't have led to the job at the gallery.
It wouldn't. And like, you can't appreciate that in the moment where you failed.
True.
But then in retrospect, you're like, wow, like there's no reality where
this would be possible.
If I hadn't failed. The people that I've met in that year have shaped so much for me in my career that like I would have never gotten it if everything was linear. And as I speak to myself now, I'm also like trying, with like one of the themes is like, like how do you build a career that works for you? There is this idea, this perception that it is a linear path. And you want it to be linear, especially with CASA. It's like the steps are laid out for you, so you know what the next step
what's
is.
Coming.
And you have peers that are doing it with you, so it feels like it should be.
It should be like
boom, like this. And then, okay, in 10 years, I'm going to do this.
But life's not like that.
It's not. It's not like that. And there's so much that is wonderful in the things that don't go the way that you wanted them to go initially. Not to say you should be chaotic and not have a plan.
Please have a plan.
I mean, as much as you can, but there's so much that unlocked for me because things didn't go the way I would have loved them to or would have idealized them to. So I learned that, and I can appreciate that now, but I probably didn't appreciate it then.
So you go through this whole process and eventually you move abroad in 2022. I think we moved at the same time. Actually. January. 2022.
Which is crazy.
How did that come about for you? Like, how did it become apparent to you that I can do this, I can move to London, and why London?
I always wanted to move country. Always. I think it's partly because of the way I grew up. I knew that I'd been sheltered. So there was this desire to shake it up, like to experience discomfort. I think
a lot of people don't have that.
There was this thing of me that, especially like in my desire to travel, it was I wanted to travel to experience things that were different to what I knew. There was there's that desire, and I wanted to go somewhere where I'd be challenged to really experience things differently to what I knew. So that was always a desire that I had, and I stayed in auditing because I knew that was important for me. So you know how like in auditing there'll be opportunities to go on secondment. And I was like, because of that was very appealing for me. Which is why I stayed for longer. And then so it felt like being in audit made that possibility to travel a short thing. But my preference was to move to a country where they don't speak the same language as me, because I romanticized that. Imagine going to Spain
and learning Spanish.
Netherlands.
How do you think it would have been though? Like moving to a country where they don't speak
the language.
Well, you don't speak the language they speak.
I just romanticized it. I was living in La La Land.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so romantic. Maybe you just have this idea of what you see in the movies. Gonna be great. You just imagine doing
but
it
you
in
have
France.
you have been to countries where they speak French, for example.
Yeah.
How has it been? Has it been as romantic as you thought it would be?
No. Even moving to London,
Yeah.
you just have this idea, lights, camera, action. You'll be
working now.
No, it's literally kebab stores and, smallies. That's normal. Life is normal.
Life is normal.
Even when you go to countries like other countries where they don't speak the language, I think you just build this idea in your head of what it's like to live abroad.
Yeah.
But wherever you go, a mentor of mine said something amazing. Wherever you go, there you are. It's you.
Yeah.
How your view of the world, and it's up to you how you shape that experience.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as romantic and glossy. But how I came to London is, it came down to, okay, I have an opportunity to be there longer term. So, how in secondments, it's more like 6 months-ish.
Yeah.
London, it was like, there was an opportunity for a longer period. It's a city that there is lots of opportunities in banking, and there's also.
Were you already in banking before?
Yeah, I did my articles in banking.
Okay.
So it was natural to come back to banking when I moved here, and I was like, I'm a big fan of art and culture, and London is one of those cities where it's like it feels like a big arts and culture hub. So I knew I wanted to move here, and the proximity to be able to travel to other places.
Yeah. Where did the desire for art come from? So I attended a show that you hosted, was it 2 years ago, I think?
Ooh. Was it the show
African Women Stories?
Oh, yeah. I remember that actually.
I did, and it was
so cool.
very nice. Oh. How did this art thing come about for you?
I think it emanates from being a drama kid.
Okay.
And then being denied to be a drama kid in the pursuit of finance.
Yes. Yeah.
And then working in an art institution and realizing that it is essentially a finance institution. Being in art spaces and realizing that money is what makes everything go around.
Yeah.
And there was so much value in art that I didn't know about. It's like you have this idea of like the poor artists. Not that it's not a big reality for a large proportion of people who go into the arts, because it's not easy trying to make it in that market. But at the same time, there are there are billions circulating in that industry. So coming from an accounting background, working with people who are in insurance, who are collectors, who manage corporate collections like First Strand. First Strand's collection is worth a lot of money, and then
really
I was one of my clients when I was at PwC was in the First Strand group, and then I'd walk in the office of First Strand and you see all this African art, and you're like, wow, like this is like, wow. You look at you Google the prices of what those art, and it's like it's a lot of money, and it's just like. So it always kept me close to that. So that year where I worked at the gallery, I met so many incredible people, but then I realized that there's a big finance component in art. So it just was close to my heart that I could have the finance background and still belong in art spaces.
Yeah.
Because my heart's always been open. Theatre is my first love. I love visual art, but theatre has a special place in my heart. But that working at the gallery really gave me an appreciation for African art and African voices in art, especially because there's not a lot of people who look like, or then maybe now there's not a lot of people who look like us in art spaces, especially the ones who are deciding what is taste. What I heard from someone is when Nelson Makamo, which is one of the biggest visual artists in South Africa, it was when Oprah walked into his studio and bought one of his pieces, she was like, now you're going to get paid what you're worth. Because you need an Oprah to come and validate your work. But it's not people like me who are people who are working in South Africa, and we're not people who are tastemakers. We're not the people who are making a taste for art. And I think that because there's so many of us upcoming, there's so much that we could learn from experiencing more art, and be more tastemakers for African artists. So that's what it's had. It has a special place in my heart.
I can tell. There's so much passion.
Yeah. It's something that's a little bit more challenging to articulate in a way that is like very coherent. But I started to understand that we need to make space for more people to experience it and understand it, because if I've not come from a background where that wasn't part of my background, like we didn't have art at home, or I didn't go watch theater with my parents, you don't appreciate it. But when you go and you make space and you explain, you're like, oh, did you know this about this artist? You curate black women curators who are so passionate. They'll explain the show to you. You'll literally be close to ears, close to tears, and close to tears, and you'll be like, wow, like I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, because that's the same sentiment I had watching the short film. I was like, I don't come from an artsy background, but like being in that room and looking at the short film, seeing the story, I could relate to that. It felt like it's a part of my story, just because of how similar the experience is to what I've had.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is making it accessible for people, right? Bring people in the room so that they can access it, especially because as Africans we have so many incredible stories to tell, right? And that's what artists do. They tell our stories. So we have the ability to connect to that, so more of us should experience that. It shouldn't be the white collectors who are discerning the taste for African artists only. I think we should all be, but we should be contributing. So the story is it has a lot of points, but it has a very special place in my heart.
How was the move? Did you move here by yourself?
Yeah.
How was the move? What shocked you? What brought you back to reality from dreamland of, oh my God, I'm moving to London?
Loneliness.
Oh.
Yeah. That you realize that you're leaving everything that you know, that you're familiar with, to come to another country and start again. Are you crazy? I used to think other people who didn't want to move were crazy. And then I realized that we are the crazy people. We left everything. Nando's, chicken licking.
Oh my God.
Wimpy. We left our friends that we had, people that you went to school with.
Everything you've ever known.
Everything you've ever known. The smell of your mom's house when you come in and just chilling on the couch. You just cozy, comfortable. To come to this country, you on the train, you miss home, you cry, we're all gonna pretend we're not looking at you. It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. But loneliness because you give up your community. And then you have to build a new community. We were talking when I came in here, we were talking about living close to your friends.
Yeah.
People, I think that when you're back at home, I don't think people get that. I think we understand that now because we've had to build community again.
Yeah.
Like things like, oh, I live far from my friends, or it's like an hour to go to visit your friends. It's better if they're close by. But when you're back at home in South Africa, it's normal, right? Because you have so many people.
Yeah.
Whereas here, if you're not intentional about community and putting yourself out there, you're gonna sit by yourself.
Sure. How have you built community here? Because it's one of the things that I struggle. We were talking about it earlier before we started recording. It's one of those things that I struggle with, because it's easier to build community when you've just moved and you know everyone who's just moved, and all just cling on to each other. But then once you start dispersing and
people make different decisions.
Some people move back home.
Lots of people move back home.
You guys are my support system and you're moving back.
I've been watering this relationship with you, and then you're gonna leave.
How do you to build community here?
It is not easy. I've not figured it out. But I think that it's a big one, putting yourself out there, following up, having the coffee, having the conversation, meeting up with people, and then embracing that it takes time, because you have 10-year relationships back home. You've only been here 4 years. So you also taking chances and then trying to water this one. And then maybe it doesn't feel that good for you. So it's still something that I feel like I'm still finding my way in. It's like the same as you. You meet people, you get close to them, then they leave. And more people are gonna leave, So
and you can't blame people for leaving. It's not always rosy.
No, it's definitely not. I respect people when they go back home. It's choosing what's right for you, right?
Yeah.
But also there are spaces where community is the pillar of the gathering. So things like fitness classes, church, those spaces generally are built to help you feel a sense of community, and I think those are helpful. I'm embracing church in this time of my life, and hopefully for the foreseeable future. But I've also learned to see how that is an aspect that brings a sense of belonging and community, and that's important.
Yeah. So you founded a company called Lunatic Adventures. Tell us about Lunatic Adventures. How did it come about?
It's so funny because I always like go on. It's such a weird name to give of a company because I'm always like it's lunatic because the art in lunatic is important. Yes. I'm like it's not an easy name.
Okay,
lunatic.
Right.
But how it came about is I always wanted to. I was the person in my group of friends who wanted to make sure the trip left the WhatsApp group. I had the will. Yeah. I was like, my will get us there. Doesn't matter if we have to pay in installments for 24 months.
Let's do that.
I'll be the person. I'll look at the flights. I'll book the accommodation. I don't mind. I'll do it all with my money, even the accommodation with my Investec overdraft. I'll book it, and you guys will pay me back. We're going.
Wow. Okay.
I had the will to do that, so I would plan have weekends away with my friends, and we'd have pretty big groups of people come and join us. One of my other friends, I think I would do more of the planning, logistical stuff, and then she knew so many people, she'd invite them. So we'd had decent groups of people who come and join us, and it was always good feelings, good vibes. When you come together, there's accommodation, you guys have your own spot. And I was like, wow, I love that feeling of being able to create this space where people seem to feel so safe. And also have this experience that's also challenging them, because it's like we'd be going on hikes and stuff, like long hikes. So you also see and experience people in ways in which they're being challenged. We're doing a big hike. It's going to be difficult. So people have to be themselves in that space, and I love that. So I really appreciate that. So I planned that, and then when I started working at PwC, and I was like, okay, I want to travel now. I'm going to take my first trip. Traveling was always a big goal for me when I was still studying. So
why was that?
When you watch YouTube videos. Do you remember the computer room? That we had in Mahiki? While I was studying and stuff, I'd be playing YouTube videos of creatives, and they're watching people's vlogs. And I'd be like, these content creators who are traveling in the Philippines.
Oh, nice.
And then you just have these ideas that that's what it's going to be like. So I had that craving and that desire to have those experiences.
Were you traveling as a child?
No.
With your parents?
No. Literally the only trip I ever went on with my family outside of visiting family in Malanga or Limpopo was we went to Durban.
Okay.
when I was in grade 1. So I didn't travel, didn't leave the borders of South Africa. So in 2018, when I got my, I said, I'm leaving this border. And I went by myself. Because I'm a crazy person.
Solo.
First ever trip. My mom was like,
crazy.
And I went to Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. I remember telling my peers in like my order group, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Dar es Salaam. And then the partner was like, what's in Dar es Salaam that you're gonna? There was nothing there. He'd been there. I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know anyone in Dar es Salaam. I when I was at Monash, I'll call it a crush on a guy from Tanzania, and I thought he was wonderful. So he's probably like my inspiration to have gone to Tanzania, because he would travel to like places like Djibouti. I'm like, what's Djibouti? You know, he'd send me pics from like Zanzibar. I'm like, wow, you know, like it's beautiful. So he's actually what inspired me probably to go to Tanzania. But at the time, we weren't even talking, so it's not like I was going there to see him or anything. I heard about it from him. I went there, I booked a 2-week trip, and I went to Dar es Salaam. I was very fortunate that I met a friend on the way, because nothing in my brain clicked to me that those people there will not speak my language. Ooh, they speak Swahili.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for God's grace in Malawi, where I met my friend and he then became my guide, I don't know what I was going to do, because it's like they don't speak English. It's not even.
But that's the thing, right? Like you never know until you're there.
It's the naivete. You think you're going to be eat, pray, love in Dar es Salaam. This is Africa. This is Africa for real. Like we don't even. So that experience was very. It shifted my mind a lot. Like something unlocked for me. I had more of an appreciation for. I had such a huge appreciation for like, wow, like this is what life looks like outside of South Africa. It's so different to anything I'd ever known. And because I'd been planning experiences for my friends back at home, I was like, I want to bring more people here. I want other people to have this experience. And then I started planning trips. I had a trip to Tanzania, to Zanzibar. I hosted a trip afterwards. And then after that, I realized, okay, we can commercialize this, you know, this is an opportunity. And because I was very specific in wanting it to be a space where we experience African countries. And my vision is to be able to bring more art into the travel, because, for example, the last trip I hosted was to Dakar in Senegal, which was, over the time, that was meant to be the Art Biennale, which is one of the biggest art experiences on the continent. And it's an incredible city, super vibrant, very beautiful, like the creativity that's there. So I think it was my vision to bring the art to the travel experiences, while also giving people the opportunity to experience different places in Africa.
Why Africa? I mean, you know, when we talk about travel, a lot of people think Europe, Asia, you know, Bali, very popular. Why Africa?
At the time, when I started Lunatic, I kind of knew. So it was probably, I had my first Lunatic trip when I was here. Because when I moved here, in that first year, it was like, oh, Portugal, Spain, Paris,
Europe,
Euro trip.
Euro summer.
And then you're in Euro summer and you're like, something is off. No, guys, it's the same. I mean, beautiful, wonderful places, great experiences, I wouldn't change it. But I just started to feel like when I traveled in Tanzania, I felt more. I connected more to the people. Really? It felt like we were so different but so the same.
Oh wow.
So I had this desire to travel more in Africa, and I knew more of us had that same desire. We wanted to go to Europe and then went there and then didn't feel connected. So I wanted to create space for other people to experience it leveraging on my own networks that I've been blessed to build and make it more palatable for people to have that experience, because I don't think lots of places in Africa where we travel to, we don't quite have the infrastructure that's been built to make that experience easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy terrain to travel in. It's not like traveling to Spain or Lisbon. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So I had that appreciation, but I was like, let's go anywhere and see.
Yeah.
And then you have the most incredible experiences. You meet the most beautiful people, and it's like they're different to you, but they're like you. Like you can connect to it more.
Yeah.
And it became an opportunity to learn more about the continent, right? Because there is so much of Africa's story that is unwritten.
Yeah.
We have more creators now who are writing stories about Africa in a more beautiful way. But it was like, wow, this is an opportunity to write stories by other people coming and experiencing it.
Yeah.
So that was why Africa, and I knew there was so much untouched. There are places in Africa that you wouldn't believe exist, you know? And that's just because we don't know. They're not out there. They're not advertised. It's not. But it's funny. The people from Europe and America, they go there. You go there and they're all there. But us from Africa,
we don't. I think we don't value Africa the same way that Europeans, people from the West,
they
value it. Yeah.
Us, I want to go to Paris. But you've not been to Swaziland. It's in your country.
I am guilty.
No, me too. I've not been either. You know, so there's so much to experience that is wonderful on the continent.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to share that with people by bringing them up.
Nice. How has traveling? So you've been to quite a few places, Africa, Europe, everywhere else. How has traveling changed your perception?
You just realize that what you know, what you think you know, you don't. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. It's like you think you know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much
to
know and understand. You know, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So traveling to places taught me that there's so many ways and modes and ways of living, ways of seeing, ways of experiencing the world. Like my idea of normal is warped based on what I know.
Yeah.
There's no such thing, you know. People do things completely different in other places of the world.
Yeah.
And that is very key, and I think it's an important thing for more of us to experience, because when you leave and you go someplace and you learn more about other people, it starts to give you more empathy and appreciation what you have. But I will also say, and in this time of my life, like I've not planned a trip this year, and I, you know, it's not like I'm not in a very big travel season right now, but I've also learned to not romanticize travel as much as I did growing up. You know, you'd have this, when you thought about traveling, when I was growing up, when I was in Mahiki there, daydreaming about my future, it was like, oh, crystal blue waters, jumping in,
yes,
bikini hot days,
beach days.
That was what I was thinking about, but that's not the essence. I've learned that wasn't the essence of what travel was for me. Like I've had experiences where I've been seeking out discomfort, and then it comes and you're like, this is awful. Take me home.
This is hard.
Right now. I want to go home and have some woolies.
Oh.
And I had that experience this year. Like I had this idea I was gonna take a very what do you call,
sabbatical?
Yeah, I was thinking this. I had a sabbatical plan this year, and I thought it was going to be very like, not hitchhikery, but like very adventure, you know, gal, backpacker like, you know. I had a backpack. I had a backpack. I was gonna take a train from Dar es Salaam to Malawi. It was like, you know, I had this idea in my head. I was gonna be embracing of the difficulty of it, but I was like, I was crying on the phone to my boyfriend. I was like, I want to come back to London. There's no Uber, and I'm tired, and I want convenience. So it's also appreciating that there are times when there are great experiences that you can curate, but that's not real life.
Yeah.
And I also learned that it's more about the people. Like when you travel, the people that you meet, for me, have been what shapes the experience.
Yeah.
How they impart you, what they impart on you, what you learn from them.
Yeah.
That's really the thing that really stays or sticks with you. You make amazing memories. But I've learned to appreciate the people. I've learned to appreciate that you'll have bad days when you're traveling.
Yeah.
And that's just part of experiencing the world differently. It's not all shiny places to travel to and crystal blue waters. That's not it.
Yeah.
If anything, that's you going closer to what you feel is comfortable.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I've just experienced that travel has so many dimensions to it. They're not all rosy and pretty and picture perfect.
Why is it important to take sabbatical? Now that you've mentioned you want sabbatical, why do you think it's important to take sabbaticals and do whatever it is that you want to do? I share the same sentiment. I haven't had the privilege of being able to take a sabbatical, but it's one of those things that's in my plan to do. Why do you think it's important?
I think it's helpful to punctuate, put punctuation marks in your career to give yourself time to take a stand back and look properly. And also, I mean, personally, I have many interests. I like and appreciate different things. So you also want to carve out space to give time to those things. And I think it's a helpful time to pause and really reflect. So yeah, when I took my sabbatical, I realized I was like, I want to be able to take breaks like this more regularly in life.
I agree.
2 weeks is not a long time to take time off.
It's not but 2 weeks is not a sabbatical. Let's start.
When you take
you're on annual leave.
You're on leave, yeah. And
that's not a sabbatical.
It's not long, hey. You basically spend most of the first week or those 2 weeks recovering, and just trying to find what it's like to sit at home. But if you take a sabbatical, you give yourself enough time to really
get into rest and
and that's a process that takes time. It takes time, and it's not I'll just be sitting there with my feet up and some cucumbers. No, it takes time, and you need to give yourself space to be bored, and then things start to come up.
In closing, there's probably somebody watching this sitting at home going, I really want to move abroad. I really want to travel, but I'm scared. I don't know anyone in London or wherever it is that they want to move to. What would you say to them?
I mean, those feelings are valid. It's a valid feeling to have. I would not take that decision lightly because it's a big decision. But has it also been one of the best decisions of my life? Yes, easily. Best thing I've done for myself.
Agree.
But all the best things in your life are going to be on the other side of making a really challenging, difficult decision. That's just real. There's nothing, whatever, even if it's your dream job or your dream relationship or whatever your dream is, it's always going to have another side of it that comes with sacrifice, that comes with discipline, that comes with your ability to nurture something. It's just, that's part of the gig, Everything has facets, and you just need, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's okay. So your feelings are valid about the fear, but it's been so worth it for me. And we have this thing where it's life is very definitive. If I don't make the right decision, the world is going to cave in, and I'm going no, you pack your bags and you go home, sweetie.
Exactly.
You tried something, it didn't work, you go home. You have information. We have this idea where it's if I make the wrong decision, there's no such thing. You choose and then you make it right. And if it's not right for you, you change.
We
We just get very No, darling. No, we're gonna keep it moving. You're gonna go back home. You can try again. You can move to another country. You might meet someone who's gonna lead to something else that shows you something else. There's no such thing.
I agree. I think people fixate on one, making the right decision, and two, we feel like that's the final decision.
No,
But it's not.
No.
It's only just the beginning.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
It can't be the final decision. So give yourself some grace, some love. Lastly, from me, how do you make time for all your passions? You said you have many different passions. Arts, it's travel, it's all these things you're doing. How do you make time for it all?
It's funny that you say that. Right now, I'm in a season of my life where I feel like I'm not making a lot of time for all my different interests. But life is seasonal.
Yeah.
We also put this pressure on ourselves to be everything at once.
At the same time.
You can't.
You can't. Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to be in a season of your life where you are focusing on work. And there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it's okay to be in a season of your life where work is not the priority and you're working on your relationships. And maybe you catch theatre once a week with your friends.
Yeah.
That's fine. I've learned to appreciate seasons. There was a season of my life where I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, working hard on my job, planning a trip for Lunatic afterwards. And that wasn't sustainable for me because then I wasn't pouring into my relationships.
Yeah.
So my energy would plummet because I'm working so hard on, creating other things, but I'm also not pouring into my spirit, you know? So life, you have to embrace the seasons. I don't quite have it figured out, to be honest, but I think it's okay. Balance is not a real thing, but if you need to look at, I think was your question, balancing my different interests or making time for my different interests?
Yeah.
I think you have to stretch out the concept of time to making time in one day and stretch it out over a longer period, because you might be doing really good in the first 6 months of the year at netball, at making time for your friends and working really hard, and then maybe the next 6 months you're working on other things.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways that I can speak to, like managing my time, managing my days, managing how I do things, but it's really embracing seasons and looking at life over a longer lens has really helped.
Rhulani, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your wisdom and sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am going to end it here today. If you did enjoy this conversation, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.